Hello, Sweet Pea. Now, today's video is going to be all about, well, how I maintain my tanks. And we're also going to talk about what my plans are for some of these tanks moving forward. Now, I'm a set it and forget it kind of person. I want to create a fish tank, and I want it to be self-sustaining, and I want it to be healthy, and I want the fish to be fruitful and to multiply. For example, like in this tank, I just set it up, put a bunch of plants in it, put some fish in it, feed them, and it takes care of itself. For this tank down here, same way. Put a bunch of guppies and shrimp in here a year ago, plant it, feed it, it takes care of itself. This one, not so much. These tetras, they're going to all get a new home because frankly they don't look good in this tank. They look better up. They'd look better up perhaps maybe in the 40-gallon tank. We'll see. And then this is my first tank that I ever set up. This is my first dirted tank. And again, proliferation of life in these tanks. And as far as maintenance goes, basically, look at this tank. I just need to top them off. I just need to bring the water up, dechlorinate it, and then if the filter flow is low, I'll pull the filter out and I'll give it a little clean, a little rinse. Same way down here. Now some of these tanks you'll notice are darker than others, and that's because they have wood in them and they form tannins, and some of them also have some algae forming them. I don't freak out over algae. It's a natural part of the tank. But what I wanted you to see today was what I do to do tank maintenance. As you remember, I put all these lovely water faucets in and ran this pipe and put one over here so that I would have them close to my tanks. And don't forget, I have to do the tanks out here as well. Got my shrimp tank. Got the 20-gallon here, 20-gallon here, and then the big 4-foot tank here. So it'd be quite a busy day. So I'm just going to let the cameras roll and let you watch how I do this. And don't forget, the tanks that were over here are now over there. And you notice I've got one of them, I've still got the light out on it. These, I'm just cycling that tank. But this one I've got the lights out because I had a problem with algae and I wanted to get rid of it. I wanted to make sure I starved this tank of light to kill it and start over. Anyway, so I'm just going to set up the camera so you can see what I do for maintenance, and then we'll talk about what my plans are moving forward, because if I'm going to do anything to this tank, you can see I got a couple of big fish in here I need to find a home for. And plus I got mollies and whatnot, but I can find a home for those. But those two gouramis, yeah, they've lived together so dang long. They know one another very well.
In your little wooden dinghy, you float on the water. The waves carry you along. The fishes jump out of the water around you as you listen to this song. Cradled by the ocean and its soft rocking motion. Sleep, little baby, sleep. Mermaids will guide you, swim beside you. They'll sing you a lullaby of the deep. Dolphins will smile, and all the while they'll protect you as you sleep.
So here's the water filling device I concocted. I just made it out of some PEX half-inch tubing, and then using some vinyl tubing, a little irrigation valve there, and then it runs up here, and then it plugs into this here. So I've gone ahead and I've turned on the water in the bathroom. This is the supply valve, so I've turned it on. So the water is coming up over. I know it's ugly, it's janky, as they say. But now we're gonna go ahead and let some water come out of there, about a half its normal rate. And then I've already prepared my water treatment here. So we'll just come over here and give her a 1 milliliter squirt. Make sure it's not filling too fast. We'll come back over here. Keep an eye on it. And I like to get about as close to the top as I can. Now, there we go. So I'm going to show you how much, and I just turned it off right there. So if I was over here, I could turn it off up here, but I've discovered that I probably ought to put that valve a little bit closer to the tank itself. But as you can see, I've got that water pretty darn close to the overflowing. In fact, I probably should have stopped a little bit lower. Now, a lot of people say a lot of things when it comes to aquariums. A lot of people like to do water changes. I'm not a big fan of water changes. Now we're going to go ahead and move this over to this one, and then we're just going to repeat the process. So we'll come over here, we'll turn the water on. Doesn't need to be on very much. Just enough to get it flowing. And then we'll give a little squirt and let it fill. So a lot of people say I should drain 50% of the water out of here every week or two and replace it with fresh water. I'm not one of those people. I have very, very hard water and water with very high TDS, total dissolved solids. So my water here is rich in minerals and calcium and all kinds of other neat stuff. So if I were to do water changes, that's fine, but they're pointless. I only need to top up my water because I have a self-sustaining ecosystem here with these planted tanks. Now, not all of them are planted, like this one's not planted right now, but you know, you put a little stuff in here while I'm going on about it. The planted tanks tend to take care of themselves, and you don't need to worry so much about nitrates and ammonia building up. The first period of the tank being set up, you need to let it cycle, which takes several weeks. It can take, a month and a half. Now, you're going to notice I do something in all of my tanks, and if you look down here, there's a sponge filter in the bottom of that tank, and I try to keep one in the bottom of, or around in each one of my 10-gallon tanks as a spare. They're called a seeded filter, and what a seeded filter allows you to do is take that filter and put it in a brand new tank and have all the bacteria and organisms that are on that lovely sponge filter, and they will then take care of the cycling the tank for you early, and then you can add fish to it fairly quickly because you're not going to have that initial ammonia spike and all that stuff. Now, that's an oversimplification of tank maintenance, okay? I'm just telling you from years of experience. I've been taking care of fish tanks since I was a 12 or 13-year-old kid. I don't know everything, but I know my tanks do exceptionally well with the method I use. Plants are the key. Plants, and more plants. The more you can plant a tank, the better off, the healthier the fish will be. You've seen my fish. How often do I come on here and tell you I've lost another fish because my tank has crashed? Hardly ever. Usually when I lose a fish, it's due to old age. When I stopped using my methodology for tank maintenance is when I lost a lot of fish. So when I initially went to this Wallstead or planted tank method, I did not have great success. In fact, I lost quite a few fish because I strayed from my formula that has worked for years and went on to another formula, and there was a bit of a learning curve. So buyer beware. You got to beware of that stuff. And that's what these tanks were initially set up for. I'm going to go ahead and fill that 10-gallon up while I talk. So that's what these tanks were initially for, was experimentation. And you can see I'm no great artiste, aquascaping artiste. I just like to have fun with it. And this is just kind of seeing mainly what kind of substrate I needed to get plants to grow. And I found out that I don't even need to worry about that. I just need to put a little garden soil underneath my sand and be done with it and not overthink this whole situation. So we'll get this tank filled. So what this does, as opposed to water changes, is this adds an influx of minerals and to the water. And so if anything, the TDS can creep up pretty high if you're not, around the 300 to 400 mark, if you're not careful when you have hard water like I do. But that's okay. The shrimp love it. They really do. The Neocaridina shrimp love it. The Caridina shrimp, I don't have any. They're harder to raise. They really need special water, reverse osmosis water, RO water, and then you need to add your minerals back. So I don't have time to mess with that. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this one back up. But this is what it said. This is my tank maintenance. This is all I do. Once a week, usually on a Friday or a Saturday. And you can see we still got flow going on that filter, so I'm not gonna mess with it. Usually on a Saturday or a Sunday, I'll come by and I'll top up all my tanks and, make sure they're all good, make sure I haven't lost any fish and everything seems healthy. But you see the abundance of plants. Again, that's the key. Anybody can be successful with these tanks as long as you're willing to, and you can, the beauty of plants is you can take some plants, plant them, grow them, and then cut them and propagate them and have all the plants that you could ever want, as long as you're patient and give them some time to grow. Yeah, that one is full. Yeah, and I just find tank maintenance very relaxing. But I've taken some steps to make sure my tank maintenance goes fairly easily too. So let me put this over here. All right, so I've refilled my little syringe now, so I can go ahead and do the rest of these tanks. And I have an abundance of guppies, which is what I tend to start all my tanks with and cycle them with guppies, because frankly they breed like rabbits, and they're hardy fish. They're hard to kill, and yeah, you can never have. These are all guppies. I've never bought a guppy. I haven't bought a guppy in 10 years, 15 years. It's been years since I bought a guppy. These are all children of other guppies I've had, and you can see we just kind of wing it here on the tank. It'll let guppy grab. There's a little bit of frog bit, and there's the rest is duckweed. People hate duckweed. I love it. Doesn't bother me at all. My goldfish really love the duckweed. They love to consume that stuff. So I'll scoop this up once a week as part of my maintenance and take it in there to the goldfish, and by the end of the week it's gone. They don't touch the frog bit, but they do love the duckweed. They love to eat it. Alright, the next tank, so you can see it's, Not a big deal to get these tanks maintained. We'll let that fill up and then we'll go ahead and open these covers on this one. I don't know if I showed you or not, but I went ahead and made plexiglass covers for all my tanks, for almost all of my tanks. It just makes my life a whole lot easier. So, and you can see this tank is quite lively. If you look on the top, my shrimp have built a little paradise of hair algae. That's all hair algae, and those are all shrimp in there, and they just love it. So again, that's nature. This is nature at work. I don't want to mess with it. I want to leave it alone. You can see all my hungry fish are lining up. I better get ready to cut the water on that one. And then I've got my shrimp tank up here, which is doing phenomenally well. Now you're looking at it and going, oh, that's ugly tank. Yeah, but let me tell you, this thing is full of baby shrimp. And yeah, it's you know, it's full of life. And little really shrimps and but it needs to be this I need to cull it. I need to cull the moss on this and stuff like that because it's getting out of hand. Let me I'm just gonna top off the water right now, give them a fresh little influx of water. So with shrimp I'm always careful because they can be a little delicate, little picky, but these really shrimp I got from Mark Shelley Aquatics, they're pretty hardy shrimp. Now down here I have some blue shrimp. You can probably see them piling around. Again, my tanks are nothing special, but if you look at the plethora of life in here, this is what I want them to do. This is what I want my tanks to do. I want them to provide an ecosystem for my fish. Presentation isn't so important. Oh, here we go. We probably ought to stop filming that now. All right. And we'll come over here to our 4-foot tank. Oh. Pop that in here. Whew. And then we'll turn the old water back on. So you can see how easy it makes with these things here to maintain my tanks. And then my last little hoochie-maflachi in there. So take back a wide shot for this tank. As you can see, this one's doing really well. It needs a little cleaning on the outside. I got some water stains creeping down here. Yeah, there's a shrimp. There's a molly. Yeah, they love this tank. What can I tell you? Look how easy it is to refill this tank. No RO water, none of that bullshit. The shrimp are hanging on for dear life there. Just fill it up. I don't have to. The temperature I don't worry about. I can try to get it the same. And the fish are thriving. I haven't even lost a cardinal tetra. Can you believe it? And it appears they're breeding too. So. Alright, so let me turn the water off now, because we're done. I think we filled all the tanks. Yes, we have. Let's go ahead and turn off the pressure in here. There we go. And now all the tanks have been, well, they've been maintained. The water's been topped up. Now I just need to go around and feed all the fish. I haven't fed them in a couple of days, so I want to make sure I give them a good little feeding and then put my covers back on and I'll carry on with my day. So there you go. Fish are doing well. And like I say, I'm probably going to reset this 40-gallon tank. I will probably end up putting these, since I can't find my other gourami over here, it may have passed and I just don't know it. In fact, that may be it being eaten right now. Yeah, by that. Now that looks too small to be a gourami. But perhaps the gourami in here passed and I just didn't know it. Um, it happens, shit happens. But anyway, I'm ordered a new filter for this tank because I'm not happy with that canister filter I ordered for it. Just keeps vapor locking. But I got to find a home for these fish in here, and then this is going to be, I'm gonna do my first actually, where I'm gonna focus and I'm gonna try and do an aquascape with a bunch of plants and rocks and something better than I've done here, and really dedicate it. But that means I've got to save up at least $100 to buy plants for this thing, and yeah. So I'll keep you posted though.